Howdy, this is Jessica, and you're watching Disastrously Domestic. This is my podcast all about my knitting adventures in life, and it has been a while, once again, since I have done an episode. I'm kind of not so good at keeping a regular podcasting schedule, but I'm going to try to at least get on here every month. That seems doable. Yeah, I don't have any FOs to show this episode because I'm a chronic project starter. However, next episode I do hope to have quite a few finished objects, which I will discuss as I'm talking about my whips. Also in this episode I'm going to show off a whole lot of yarn that I purchased at Vogue Knitting Live 2 weekends ago, I think. No, 1 weekend ago. I don't know. One of those weekends. There's a lot of it, and I don't usually have a huge stash acquisition section on this podcast, but just prepare yourself. It's not as intense as some of the other like Rhinebeck hauls that I have seen. Jealous. But it's still quite a bit for me. So, I guess without further ado, I can just get started. Actually, first, let me take a sip of my drink. And actually, this is part of my stash from Vogue Knitting Live. It is an awesome mug made by an amazing potter named Karen Sakar. I think I'm saying that right. Sorry if I'm not. But I'm having tea today in that fancy cup. Anyway. Let's get started. I'm very tired and I'm feeling kind of blah, so I might not be as animated and smiley as I am typically, but this has to happen. This podcast has to happen at some point, so let's get moving. First thing, I picked up my Marled Magic sweater, which is a spin-off from the Marled Magic shawl designed by Stephen West. And I recently finished section 5 on this thing, and I started section 6. So this was section 5. Oh my god. This is section 5 right here. And this is section 6 that I started. And section 6 is actually the center front panel. So I'm doing like kind of a taupey brown color striped with really bright colors. And I'm changing my yarns every row. And leaving tails, which I have decided I will be braiding. So you can see I started braiding these tails to make fringe. This isn't part of the pattern. He has them just woven in as you go. But for some reason I just felt like I wanted to make this really difficult for myself, and I thought it would be cute to have some of those tails there. But basically this is the idea. This is the front panel, so I will have some fringe happening right here, and I'm decreasing down and then I'll increase back up this way. So this is kind of what the front of it will look like. Boop, boop, boop. Cute, right? I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I'm loving all my yarn choices. Some places it looks a little muddy, like, I don't know. I might have liked it a little brighter. It's kind of gray overall, but whatever, I'm excited. And this is fingering weight yarn held double throughout on a size 6, I think, needle. Yep, US 6. So, yay! This has been on the needles for a while, but I just pulled it out again and I'm loving it. So that's fun. Also West Knits, because, you know, I have about 50 West Knits projects. I'm not going to show all the West Knits projects that I have on my needles because, you know, it's a little too much to show at one time. Isn't that sad? He's my favorite. But I finally got a restart on my Speckle and Fade Mystery Knit-Along shawl, which is no longer happening. It is past, you know, the mystery stage. It has been released officially. But as you recall, I had started it and decided that I wasn't into it, my color choices, so I ordered yarn, and it finally came. So, this is my progress. I feel like this color is just so not being represented. This is purple. Like real, true to life purple. Let me get up close, maybe that'll be... You can see my color pops. I've got Edison bulb in there. Oh man, you really... That's kind of bumming me out because it just looks black to me. I don't know if it looks... I don't know how this looks to you guys, but whatever. You can get on my Instagram and see better pictures. But yeah, this is all I have done. I was not able to keep up with the knit-along story of my life. But yes, this purple is Knit Picks Stroll Tonal. And then the color pops are a couple different things. I mean, the only one I know for sure is the yellow is Edison bulb. So, yay. Very little progress on that. And I am knitting this on size 5, signature, circulars. God, I cannot come up with any language today. I can't language today. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. So, those are my 2 Stephen West projects that I will talk about this week. And hopefully, I will be able to make a lot more progress on those by next time. So then the next thing that I wanted to talk about, I showed this on my Vlogtober videos, but I don't believe I showed it on a proper podcast episode. So I wanted to do that, even though it is now off onto scrap yarn because I needed the needles for the West Knits Knit-Along. So this is the Tea Leaf sweater by Bristol Ivy. Let me it's kind of nice that it's onto scrap yarn because then I don't have to worry about the needles, but it is a cardigan with a lacy section. In this very true cobalt blue. This yarn is Cloudborne Fibers worsted. It's super nice. It's superwash, I think. Yes, superwash worsted. And this is a yarn that you can get through Craftsy. And actually the tea leaf pattern is a Craftsy class, but you just pay for the class and download the pattern if you aren't in need of a class, which I am not. But yes, this lace section is knit on size 5s, which I'm using for the West Knit shawl. So I just kind of took it off because I was excited about the knit-along, but now that the knit-along is over, I might snatch those needles back to work on this. Because I have a set of signature straight needles that are size 5. And for the first section of the West Knit shawl, you don't need a circular needle. You can just go back and forth. And it's not a whole lot of stitches on the needles, so it's easy to use straight needles. There's a lot of ums and ahs in this episode, But yes, so this is going to be great. It's going to be oversized, which is my favorite. And I don't knit a lot of things oversized because I feel like it takes forever to knit. And I usually get impatient. But I need to get over that because it turns out that none of my sweaters fit me anymore. And it's depressing because I have all these sweaters that I knit years ago and they don't fit. And I know part of it is because I just had a baby and I am breastfeeding, so things are a little more snug in this area, but they're just not fitting me the way that I want sweaters to fit, even without like this issue. Just things, I used to knit things that were a lot more fitted, more body conforming, and that's just not at all my style anymore. I like big baggy cardigans. Pretty much every time I go to Target, I buy a new oversized cardigan. It's kind of ridiculous. And people are like, oh, you knit that, didn't you? I'm like, nope, it's from Target. And then I feel like a big poser. Anyway, no guilt. If you see a sweater you like at the store, just buy it. Don't be like, well, I can knit it, and then you'll never have any sweaters, right? I mean, just buy it. Just buy it. Guilt-free. Guilt-free. That's the life I condone. Anyway, next on the needles is a pair of socks. And what's the name of this pattern? These are the Grand Central socks by Nina Phillip from the Knitting Expat podcast. Boop, boop, boop. Well, there we go. That's the stitch pattern. It's sparkly yarn. And this is a Speckled Dragon Eggs sock yarn kit from Dragon Horde Yarns. I forget what colorway what this is called, but she dyed these up for a different sock pattern. It was part of a collab she did, but I decided that I wanted to knit this pattern instead. So I did do the heel. It's a Eye of Partridge, but I added a garter border to it. I don't know what you call that. The edge stitches are in garter, which I think is very, very cute. And I am currently working my way down the gusset. And the way I do my gussets is I don't decrease every other row. I decrease every third row because I find that gives me a lot more room in my instep. Yeah. Because I guess I have very high instep. Who knew? But that is the one area that I have a problem with when I knit socks. So those are going, and I'm knitting these on Signature needles, the fixed circular sock series needles. And I have to say, I love the needle tips. I do not like the cord at all. And I'm almost to the point where I just want to order DPNs in the same size from Signature and finish it that way because it's kind of torturous. Anyway, this is cute. I got this at one of those souvenir shops at by Pike's Place Market because, you know, I saw it and I was like, I could fit a sock in there, and sure enough I can. I fit my sock, my yarn, and my contrast color yarn in there. It is a very tight squeeze, but it works. And I get to look at Sasquatch all day, so that's also fun. So that's one sock that I've been working on. I have another sock knit out of this opal yarn. And it is is looking like this. So I'm not using any pattern for this. This is just a 64 stitch toe up kind of deal. That's what I knit. So yeah, I've been in the mood to knit socks, which doesn't happen often. It seems like it happens this time of year, and this time of year only. And by Christmas, if a sock isn't finished, it pretty much doesn't get touched. Sorry. What else? What else? What else? I have okay. I'm losing my mind right now. Okay. Another shawl that I'm working on that is ridiculously close to being finished, and actually I'm kind of angry with myself for not finishing this like 2 weeks ago because it's so close. It's so close. This is my Snow Melt shawl by Helen Stewart. I know I showed this on the last episode. I'm in the last section. I think I only have like 10 rows. Maybe less than that. But here we are, the last little section. I have a few more rows, just a few more rows, and then I bind off. And the bind off is done in this brown color. So I can't believe I'm not done. It needs to be done. It would seriously take me, if I just worked on this, granted the rows are really long. There's like 600 stitches or something like that, 500 something stitches. So they are really long rows, and each row does take me probably half an hour to get across. But like if I dedicated myself to this, this puppy could be done. But of course, I'm like a baby. I'm a big whiny brat. I get resentful that I have to knit so many stitches. I don't know why it matters. Like, it's the same amount of stitches. Like, you're either gonna knit more rows that are short or just one long row. What difference does it make? It's the same number of stitches. It's just, there's some mental roadblock to 500 stitch rows. And I pretty much, every time I work on it, I have to put it down in the middle of a row. And I think that's a major contributor to why I feel so stressed out working on this. I almost just want to bind off. Like, maybe cut it down from like the 10 rows that I have left to do, cut it down to like 5 rows or 6 rows that I have to do. But I feel like it's already waited this long, I might as well do it right. I don't want to regret it later. But yes. So the 3 yarns in this, the brown is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in some color. And then the other 2 colors are Knit Picks Chroma Twist Fingering. And I don't know the colorway names. One is like a purples and pinks. And the other is this pink with that kind of minty green. So, yeah, I like the Chroma Twist Fingering a lot, actually. I'm gonna have to get more of that because it's fun. But yes, so hopefully this will be done by the next time I podcast. Now, I will probably podcast again in December. Let's be honest. That's just my track record. So hopefully December's podcast, this will be done. And I have a few other projects that I'm hoping will be done by that episode as well, because it's just ridiculous how many projects I have that are so close, just so close to being done, but I just can't bring myself to work on them. So the next one is one of those types of projects, and I didn't actually work on this since the last episode, but I'm going to show it because I am going to finish it. Like, damn it, this is getting done. So that would be my brickless shawl. This is a shawl pattern by Martina Bem. She is the mind behind the Hitchhiker shawl. I'm gonna get it closer. And it kind of has a similar vibe where it's got this kind of sawtoothy edge. And it gets wider and wider. But I have this section. So, okay, each repeat is 3 sections, and I am changing colors for each section. I'm using 3 colors. And this color is Neon Peach, which matches my sweater right now. The next one is, I believe, Tiger Lily from, I'm sorry, Neon Peach is from Madeline Tosh. Tiger Lily is from Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play, I think. And then this is Marte by Malabrigo. So I need to finish this repeat in the Mrs. Crosby. And then I have another repeat to do in the Marte. And then it's done! And the rows are not that long because it's kind of knit at a slant. So the rows are not that long, and it will be plenty long to wrap around a couple times, I think, once it's blocked. So there's really no reason why I can't finish this very, very quickly. Except the main reason, laziness. Lazy. Jessica's lazy. So hopefully this will be done and this will be done by the next time I record. One other thing that I hope to get done before next time, and again, I have not worked on this since the last episode, but I pulled it out because, damn it, Jessica, what's wrong with you? Why have you not finished it? It is my February lady sweater. So I don't know if you guys remember, I dyed this yarn using black currant. This is Cascade 220. Not superwash, just normal old Cascade 220. And I knit the body. Where's my little... So this is where I showed it last time. I don't think I showed it in the last episode. I think I showed it the episode before that. So I finished the body. And now I just have the sleeves. So I need to make this happen, but I will put it on. So there it is. Don't want to knock anything. There it is. It's cute. It's unblocked. But it fits unblocked, so garter stitch stretches quite a bit. It's gonna be so cute when it's done. Love it. But it just needs sleeves and buttons, and it'll be done. So that really just needs to happen. Again, it's ridiculous that it hasn't yet, so. That's 3. That's 3 things that will be done next time you see my face on here. Unless I decide to do Vlogtober again. Not Vlogtober, Vlogmas. I haven't decided. I might do Vlogmas again. Meh. Who knows? Okay. 2 more things. I feel like I've been rambling forever, but I know that I haven't. I just need to get through this. Okay. 2 more things. This one will probably not be finished by next time. Although maybe it will, because it's on big needles. These are baby pants. These are the Kanoko pants. And this will be a soaker for Grant. And this is knit out of Quince & Co. in this ruddy red color and this kind of taupey brown. And I don't remember what yarn this is. I know it's Quince & Co. but I don't remember the yarn name. Sorry. Anyway, they're slow going, but they should knit up pretty quickly if I just dedicate myself. So there's that. Hopefully they'll fit him too. They look a little big, but who knows? They might be fine. I was gonna show one more thing, but I might not. Yeah, I will. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. This is like a disaster. What you know about disasters? Okay, this project is in my Longaberger basket. Yay! Now, I was not knitting. Oh, I almost said knitting. I was crocheting a giant Tunisian crochet blanket with Cascade 220 Superwash held worsted. No. I was crocheting, god damn it. I was crocheting a Tunisian crochet blanket with Cascade 220 Superwash held double. Okay, so I don't know if you're aware, crochet eats up yarn a lot faster than knitting does. And Tunisian crochet eats up yarn more than normal crochet. And I was using it held double. And I just couldn't justify to myself any longer the physical and financial dump that was going on in this blanket. Even though I loved the way it was looking, it was just... And I also hated working on it, because with Tunisian crochet, each row is basically crocheted twice. Like you go across the row to pick up all your stitches, and then you go back across the row to get them off of the cord. Kind of the way that brioche knitting is. You knit across, and then you knit back, and that is technically only one row, because you knit the front and then you knit the back, and that's one row. So it's similar to that, and it eats yarn like nobody's business. So I decided to frog it, which meant that I had a crap ton of single balls of Cascade 220 Superwash worsted. And I didn't know what to do with them, but I decided that I was going to make a stripy pullover crochet. So I picked out 5 colors that I really liked together. And wow, these look so muddy. I don't know. They're much brighter than this. Like, this is brown. This is kind of a, not super bright yellow, not like Edison bulb bright, but yeah, and this is like a bright teal. Ugh, you really can't tell. Very disappointed in my lighting today. It's of course overcast and rainy today in Seattle. I'm not in Seattle anymore, in Silverdale. Seattle, close enough. So this is the Daisy Off the Shoulder sweater by Jillian Moore. It is crocheted, oversized, and I'm excited. It's kind of masculine colors, so we'll see how much I actually wear this, but I'm excited to have a very quick sweater on the needles because crochet is pretty fast, you guys. Pretty fast. Which brings me to an idea that I have. I have always wanted to do the NaNiSueMo. So National Knit a Sweater in a Month Dodecathon, where you basically knit yourself a sweater start to finish in a month, every month. So I think it's NaNiSueMo Dough. I think that's what it's called. But I was thinking in 2018, maybe I will attempt something like that. But instead of a NaNiSueMo Dough, I will do a NaCroSueMo Dough. Because I feel like I could probably crochet myself a sweater every month. Yeah, I think that's more doable for me personally than knitting a sweater every month. That's not to say that I won't be knitting sweaters. I will always have sweaters on the needles, but I'm craving things quickly. Like but I still want that big impressive project like a sweater. So that's my plan. We'll revisit this idea maybe next episode and see if I'm still going to be doing that, but yes. I'm gonna see how this one goes and how quickly I can knit this one, crochet this one, and then maybe make some tangible plans. Because there are a lot of really cute crochet sweater patterns out there. And that wasn't always the case. When I learned to crochet, everything was kind of not so good. There weren't a lot of really cute patterns, but now I'm looking on Ravelry and I added just a crap ton of really adorable sweaters for myself. So that's promising. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, that is all my whips. That's all I'm going to show this podcast. But I would like to take a moment here and show off all of my amazing Vogue Knitting Live stash acquisitions. But I left them over there, so I will be right back. Here we are. We've got it. I'm super excited about all of this. Okay. So, first thing I'm going to show are 3 skeins of DK weight yarn that I picked up in the hopes of making the Fringified Poncho, which is a newish pattern by Stephen West. Stephen West again. And basically you knit it with, you have 3 colors that you kind of alternate. Well, no, you can alternate as often as you want. Basically you have one main color and then you have a bunch of other colors. I chose 3 and it's brioche. So 2 of my 3 are from Ritual Dyes. This one is called Malachite. Of course, none of these colors are going to be showing up nicely. And this one is Agate. I loved all their yarns. They had so many beautiful colors, and they're based out of Portland, Oregon. I loved everything about it. Like, I love the name of their company. I love the name of their yarns because they're all very witchy, and most of them are named after different types of crystals, like both of these, malachite and agate. And yeah, it was really hard for me to not just buy everything, but I thought these 2 went nicely together. And then at another booth, I got this. It's just Malabrigo, but I think this is the Jupiter. So these are my colorful yarns that I chose with that fringified poncho in mind. And I'm not sure what main color I will use, but the plan is to make that. Although, am I really gonna wear a poncho? I'm just not sure. And these are so beautiful that I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I'll knit a sweater instead, like a stripey thing. I don't know. Can't decide. What's the right thing to do? Ugh. But that's what I bought it. That's what I had in mind when I bought it. So we'll just say that's what I plan to make. Okay. Next, I picked up this. So this is a dyer that I've never heard of called Dreaming of Hue. And I thought this was so pretty. That, so you can see. Whoop. I love it. I thought this would make really beautiful socks, but then I looked at it and it turns out that it's just wool. There's no nylon content, so I don't know what this will be. Maybe a shawlette or some such thing. But I like the way they have it like braided. Like, I feel like that's not a typical put up to have it braided that way. I don't know. I liked it. So this is beautiful. Very excited about that. Next, Backyard Fiberworks Dove and a Plum Tree mini skeins. I'm gonna turn it sideways so you can see them all. This is over 600 yards. I don't know what that'll be, but I had to have it. Next, I got this. This is also Backyard Fiberworks. It's a very bright yellow and green, which it's not coming out that way, but it is. And I got this because I want to knit the Oracle shawl by Wool&Vine. Oh, what's her name? Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast. And I actually had to, these two skeins that I'm going to show next are not from Vogue Knitting Live, but I've had them in my stash for a while, and I thought this color would go nicely with these two. And these are by Wool & Boon. So I think this is going to be my Oracle shawl. And I am going to do the circular shawl, not the half shawl. She did a half shawl version, but I want another circular shawl. So, I don't know. That's fun. And then I've got two more things to show. No, just one more thing. I got this at Church Mouse Yarn and Tees. Actually, not at Vogue Knitting Live. I got it the weekend before. This is Socks That Rock. Heckly Speckly. It's greens and browns and purples. Fingering weight, 100% wool, superwash merino. So, yay. But yeah, that is all the yarn that I have to show, I think. And my amazing mug, which is a thing of beauty. Anyway, that is all that I'm going to talk about this week. It is my birthday, and I will be 34. At the time of recording this, it is still not my birthday. Tomorrow is my birthday, which is November 14th, but this will likely be posted on my birthday. So, happy birthday to me. I hope to drink lots of wine. Mommy doesn't get drunk, she just has fun, right? Anyway, happy birthday to me. I don't know. Whatever. And happy knitting to you. See what I did there? See what I did? Okay, peace.